Hey guys. Ah. Ugh. Where am I? Okay, that sign doesn't make any sense. What? Can you speak normally? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Pedophilia has always existed since the dawn of man, but the word itself only started to gain traction in our English lexicon after the 1950s. Pedophilia is a combo word consisting of pedos and philia. Both of these words have their origins in Greece, and Greece just so happens to hold the first notable instance of recorded pedophilia, having normalized a relationship type called pederasty, which involved an Erastes teaching an Eromenos sex ed. Physically. Anyways, how am I gonna get back?
You know what grinds my gears? The weird stuff parents do to their kids. Like kissing them on the lips, teaching them about sex before elementary school, or bringing them to drag shows. See, there's this 6-year-old kid, his name is Asa, and he was brought to a drag show by his parents, and he ended up wanting to join in. And now, he thinks he's a drag queen.
I took him to go perform. It was an amazing performance.
Wow, that crowd cheered very loudly after he removed his cape. Interesting. What do you call it when a person is praised for removing clothing while dancing and then receives money for their performance from the audience? Nobody sees a problem with this?
But it's not just the extremists of the LGBTQ+ community trying to normalize children wearing questionable clothing.
Yeah, because child beauty pageants still exist after all. Now, I don't know about you, but putting a minor on stage and getting publicly judged for how beautiful or ugly they are is a pretty easy way for the kid to get an eating disorder.
8-year-old Mahaley has been taking part in beauty pageants since she was 2 years old. It's estimated that 250,000 children compete in more than 5,000 pageants in the United States each year.
The over-reliance on how you look in the teen years, this might turn into an eating disorder.
Who thought it was a good idea to make one of the categories swimwear?
And who thought having child actresses acting like they do in Cuties was a good idea?
I understand that the point of the movie is supposed to make you uncomfortable with the subject matter of kids being sexualized. It's supposed to speak out against how it's a terrible thing, but it's so poorly conveyed that they've just ended up making a movie that hypersexualizes kids. There's so much shaking. And again, these are actual children actresses. These aren't adults playing kids. These are actual 11, 12-year-olds. They're children.
Anyone can watch this movie on Netflix and not get put on a watch list. Bravo, guys. We did it. We found legal loopholes to making sexualizing minors legal.
If you like YouTube, you'll love.
Want a break from the ads?
During the 1980s, Japan had a cultural phenomenon dubbed the lolicon boom, in which the first ever, it was created and dubbed the Lolita anime. So everything was going great for fictional CP in Japan until 1989, where the serial killer otaku murderer was caught for his crime of molesting the dismembered corpses of his victims who were only 4 to 7 years old. And when he was asked why he did it, he claimed that his alter ego, Ratman, forced him to kill and spent his time in trial drawing Ratman in cartoon form. This incident caused a widespread media frenzy and moral panic in Japan against otaku, marking the end of the lolicon boom and the start of legal action. In 1999, that is, in which they finally banned the production and distribution of CP. But the original draft included fictional CP, which pissed off enough people to rectify the draft, allowing fictional CP as being a part of freedom of expression. Now, the point of me flying to Japan and recapping all of this was to show the absurdity surrounding pedophilia. Every country has argued about how to punish pedophiles because the subject isn't as black and white as it seems. And speaking of, I'm starting to see him black and white. This is Olivia. She's 12 years old, and she lives in a poor country with her poor family. But recently, her parents came into luck with an offer of vast monetary gain. The only trade-off being Olivia. Her parents wouldn't dream to refuse, and now Olivia is being sent to her new home. Before Olivia clocks into her first day of unpaid work, her kidnapper has to do an initiation of sorts. His goal is to break her so that she'll stay obedient no matter what is asked of her. Olivia is now being sent to where she'll be spending most of her time, doing live streams for her loving audience. She has to follow anything and everything that the donors ask of her, because if she doesn't get to eat. Olivia is just one of the estimated 10 million children involved in prostitution worldwide, and her suffering, in comparison to her peers, is just a drop in the bucket. Top result says the solution is therapy and meds. What's wrong with that? Everything. What breed of pedophile is going to tell any doctor about their intense attraction to minors? There are many ways to coerce them to do so. I mean, sure there is, but the solution is stupid because therapy costs an arm and a leg, and Big Pharma already jacked all the prices on any medicine they can get their greedy hands on. There are always trade-offs that have to be made for these issues. Yeah, I know, but my solution is better anyways, because it helps victims and not the weirdo losers with no self-control. And what exactly does your solution entail? Essentially, we make law enforcement easier. After all, no criminals, no victims. Your answer seems more expensive than the first solution.
My name is Sweetie. I'm 10 years old.
This little girl from the Philippines single-handedly helped identify 1,000 predators from around the world.
But what they don't know, I'm not real.
Free 99 detectives. Your solution is AI. For the most part, that's probably the best answer. I feel like this only solves a quarter of the problem. What do you want from me? This problem will probably be solved anyways with selective birthing like you see in sci-fi movies or brain chips from Tesla. The future holds the solution, but the solution currently, right now, is Sora making a hyper-realistic looking child detective. What is this? I reckon it's time for your end of journey evaluation. You can do that? You could have done better. Oh, f you.